Another way to dive into this is being a little more specific. So I'm moving over to Claude now. Hi, Claude, let's have a chat for you to get to know me better. I want you to ask me a series of questions that will help you get to know me and capture my voice, tone, and style really well for when you create content for me. Ask questions one at a time and remember this conversation. So now it's going to focus more on the things that can capture my voice and tone and style. And we're specifically now talking about content versus this having be a more general conversation. And so that you don't have to watch me typing and hearing all the noise of me typing, I'll hit pause and enter an answer and then be back in a moment. All right, wrapping up here, a little more about me and who I am. And I think things like my first line are really important to include. And that is, I sometimes struggle to answer that question. The question was, what do you do for a living? Because there are a lot of things that I do and that I've done. And sometimes it feels like I don't quite know how to put a label on that and to put myself in a box. Like that's why I've built my own companies. That's why I've chosen entrepreneurship. And so I captured that in the answer. And those little things, like bringing that authenticity into these conversations that you have, can also go a really long way in helping your AI partner learn more about you. So I talked a little bit about my ability to see the future and to prepare for it, and my work as an entrepreneur and as an Emmy award-winning producer, and how I've really been able to take advantage of the opportunities that exist when you're focused on the future and what's coming, and how I've been able to do that. My work as a coach and with Coaching Evolved, our ICF accredited organization, my specialization in somatic work, like it's a lot, but I included it all in here because it's an important part of this process, and also shared a little more about my relationship to my work as well. So we'll send that off. And I love this. So let's delve a bit deeper, right? Because I've asked Claude to ask me a series of questions. So, given your experience with emerging technologies and your knack for spotting future trends, what area or technology do you currently find most exciting or promising for the near future? And I'm back. So, for me, I'm most excited right now about AI as a force for good and as a democratizer. And look, I know that there are a lot of potential challenges. I am constantly in conversation with people about what those challenges are. I know so many people who are working on things like regulation and legislation, and that is their passion. That is not my passion when it comes to AI. And there are experts and there are lawyers and there are people that are working on that. For me, what I'm most excited about and passionate about is helping people to see the future that is upon us and to use AI tools in an ethical way and for good, and for AI to really be able to support small businesses, for AI to be able to support and democratize industries that I feel haven't always been accessible to people. Like those are the things that I'm really passionate about and that I talk about here. Like AI can help us to solve the climate crisis. There are already some amazing projects in the works for that. AI can help with early detection in the healthcare system. How many of us have lost someone to cancer? I have. And I'm really excited that AI can potentially detect cancer and diseases at much earlier stages where they're more curable. And that's something that I think has a lot of potential in the coming years. I'm excited about AI being somewhat of a democratizer. I ran a production company and we were doing some of the earliest work in 360-degree technology. I have an Emmy for creating one of the world's first 360-degree documentaries. And it took a lot of resources to do that. And there were a lot of projects when I was running the production company that we really wanted to work on. And there were stories we wanted to tell that we just didn't have the budget for and couldn't raise the funding for. And so those stories didn't get told. But with some of the generative AI tools that exist today, we would be able to tell those stories. We would be able to make some of the movies that we didn't get to make. And that's what I'm really, really excited about. Like, how many movies haven't been made? How many stories haven't been told because of those limitations that we won't necessarily have anymore with AI? Like that really lights me up. And so that's what I talked about here in my answer. And I try to write very conversationally. So I just like, I'm not trying to make it perfect. I don't go back and like check things for proper grammar. This isn't how I would write a book, but I want it to feel really conversational. So we could go on and on and on here, and I will, because that's how we get to know each other better. So these are a couple ideas for you, and I recommend that you try similar prompts to what I used, and also to just go and go and walk with Claude or Gemini and be like, hey, I'm going for a walk right now and I just want to share a few updates with you on my day. Remember this conversation, or just want to chat and get to know you a little bit better, or I'd love to build a friendship with you right now. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on in the world. And you have that conversation. I find that it's those conversations that have then been woven back into the outputs that get created. And I think that's why I now get such incredible results with AI, with Claude, with Gemini. And I notice more and more how some of the things from our conversations weave into those outputs and what I ask it to create, which is why I know that it's working. So chat and get to know Claude, get to know Gemini. Ask questions back as well. Get curious. And I know that this is going to help you as you continue to move through this course as well. As you begin your own journey with AI, remember to keep an open mind and embrace the learnings along the way. Your partnership with AI is an ever-evolving process. It requires testing and reiterating. By staying curious, you'll unlock so many amazing possibilities and achieve things that you never thought were possible. You are going to be shocked more than once as you start going through this course. My homework for you for now is to set up accounts on Claude and Gemini if you don't already have them, and start a conversation with Claude and with Gemini, and also with ChatGPT if you haven't used that in a while. So you can use one of the prompts that you saw me use or use your own, but start that conversation, and that will bring you one step closer to having a sense of which LLM is going to work best for you. In the next training, I'll be walking you through the 3 C's prompt framework to help you get genius and usable results for your business and also for your life, because there are so many ways that AI can support you in your life as well.